Hello crafty friends, this is the Papered Chef here. In today's tutorial, I'm going to show you how to take a card and turn it into a box. This was a viewer request. Her name was Linda371, and in response to my 14 alternate projects you can create with this month's Paper Pumpkin Kit, she asked if I would explain how I created the little box, which was one of the projects. The Paper Pumpkin Kits are all inclusive, they're really fun to get, and this month's came with enough materials to make 9 cards. So I showed a video on how to make 14 alternate projects, and this was just one of them. I'll just open it up and just show you. I have a little twine. I used only materials from the kit that used to have a bow on it. And I don't have any candy in here right now, but you can see it holds a lot. Okay, so we're going to take the materials from our kit, some extra ink that I have. We're going to use our Brother ScanNCut. If you don't have one, you can still follow along with this entire tutorial. But we're going to use our Brother ScanNCut to cut out those stamped images of the seashells. We are going to take our Simply Scored tool from Stampin' Up, and I'm going to show you how to make a box with it. You can take what you learned today and make any size box you want, because I'm going to show you how to make the lid fit on top of the base. All right, so with that in mind, let's get started with the stamping portion of this tutorial. Okay, so here's what we're going for. We are going for, let me make a flat spot on my table, these 3 little seashells. Okay, and whenever you stamp, it's always good to stamp a couple extra items. So you're going to take, I have a stamping mat. It's just a piece of foam because my table's not completely flat. Okay, take a piece of Whisper White cardstock. I'm going to put that down. It's a 12 by 12 piece I have. And I'm going to stamp a couple seashells from each color. Now every month's Paper Pumpkin Kit comes with a set of stamps. This one has a seashell in it. I love it. And each Paper Pumpkin Kit comes with a stamping spot. Now this one came with a stamping spot called Pretty Peacock, but I decided that I was going to use other coordinating colors, and that's where I came up with these. Okay, so I'm gonna turn the shell upside down. I'm going to touch it to my stamping block. Okay, this is, by the way, stamping block D will hold all the stamps in this set. If you get stamping block D, you're good to go for every one of these. Okay, I'm going to tap, tap, tap onto what's called Night of Navy. Why Night of Navy? And then I'm going to press it onto my Whisper White. And I'm always going to stamp a couple, because if I'm going to go ahead and cut them out, I should cut out a couple. And look also how the second one comes out a little better than the first one. Okay, so let's just do 3. Night of Navy. It coordinates with this. This particular Paper Pumpkin Kit, called On My Mind from July 2017, coordinates with Come Sail Away Suite, the Woven Thread Suite, and the Garden, forgot the name already, something Garden Lane, I think it's called. Anyway, so these colors, Night of Navy, Mossy Meadow, and Balmy Blue, which we're about to use, coordinate with this particular project, and that's why I chose those. You can just go ahead and use whatever ink you have. Your seashells don't need to be different colors. Okay, before anyone starts to cringe at me, now I'm taking out my Mossy Meadow, by the way. Before anyone starts to cringe, I am going to clean my stamp. You might be like, oh no, she's gonna stamp another color. I like to use a Stampin' Scrub. It's a tool, and I'm gonna just zoom out so you can see this tool. Okay, so it has a little wet side and a dry side, and the wet side has little raindrops on it, so I always turn it like this way. So the little raindrops let me know it's the wet side, and then this is the dry side. So on the wet side, I always put this Stampin' Mist, which has seen better days, and I spray a little bit of Stampin' Mist, and then on the dry side, I scrub it off. So I just want to clean this stamp real quick. Rub, 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 and then I just dry it off. Okay, so now I'm ready to use it with the Mossy Meadow. Okay, so we're going to tap, 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 and stamp some Mossy Meadow seashells. Okay, with just a few of those. I don't need to select these all when I use my ScanNCut. At this particular time, I can select just the ones I want to cut. Okay, I'm going to again use my Stampin' Scrub, wet side, dry side. Now I'm ready for the 3rd color of seashell, which is Balmy Blue. Another one that coordinates with the Come Sail Away Suite. So flip that open. And it doesn't matter which color, in which order you do it, as long as you clean your stamps between. Okay, now just so I don't get this on my arm, I'm going to go ahead and show you. I'm just using that wet side, dry side, wet side, dry side. Okay, it does get these photopolymer stamps or acrylic stamps, they get stained. No big deal. They work just the same. I save my paper pumpkin stamps. They store really well. And in this particular case, even though I completely ran out of supplies after my 14 projects, I was able to get other refill kits, but I don't get the stamps again each time unless, and in my case, I did order 2 kits, but usually you don't get the stamps, like 2 sets of stamps like I have. You can get refills. So then you can keep using your stamps over and over and keep making more cards. But let's not digress. Okay, so now what we're doing next is the Brother ScanNCut portion. So I'm going to take my stamp and scrub, make some room. Okay, so everything we're going to be using is going to be from your kit to make this box, but you can use whatever supplies you have to follow along. So what I'm going to do right now is unload my mat just to show you that this is the I'm going to be using the Brother ScanNCut SDX125. Again, you might not have the Brother ScanNCut, so you are bumming. You are going to have to fussy cut all of your little seashells out. So get out your scissors while the rest of us are in heaven that the machine is going to cut our stamped images for us. When I attach my Whisper White cardstock to the mat, I like to use a brayer. And I don't really like to go over the part I just got done stamping because it probably will smear. But I want to use, this is by Brother, by the way, and I want to use a brayer to hold the paper on as much as I can because the mats are not super sticky. They were when you first get them, but then after that, no go. All right, so this is another skill you will learn in this video is how to cut stamped images if you're not familiar with that already. If you don't know about this machine, you'll say, oh, I like what it can do, hopefully, and you might want to get one. And if you do want to get one of these machines, please check out the link in the description of this video because I will have a link to Amazon where you can purchase yourself a Brother ScanNCut and save you lots and lots of time cutting stamped images. So what I'm doing now is I'm just loading the mat. Okay, I'm just showing you that part and I have to move the camera a little bit. And so what I'm just laying the mat into the bottom of the machine. I'm going to show you what the screen looks like and tilt my camera. So here we are. So you see that it says pattern and scan. All I've done is turn on the machine. You're not going to miss any steps. Those are your 2 choices. So you can see the whole machine. There we go. We are going to select scan. That's our option. We're going to select direct cut because we're going to directly cut out these seashells. We're not saving them, we're directly cutting them. We're going to store the data temporarily on the machine. So here's where we're storing the stamped images. And this is the scan area. What's nice about the SDX125 as opposed to my other machine is that it has a recognition area where you can decide where you want to scan. You can say if it's 12 by 6, which in my case I'm going to keep it at 12 by 6. The scan area. It doesn't waste time scanning 12 by 12, but I want to show you where to change that. If you want to scan the whole 12 by 12 area, you can, but I'm only going to scan 12 by 6. That's really nice. I call it a half scan. I don't know if they call it a half scan. That's my name for it. So I'm doing a half scan. I'm using black and white recognition mode. And you may say, well, Paper Chef, you have all these colors of seashells. It does not matter. If you have good contrast between the foreground and the background, never waste your time on color recognition mode. In fact, I hardly ever use color recognition mode, only when I don't have a good contrast between the foreground and the background. I'm going to go ahead and hit this button, which is load the mat. And it loads perfectly because I am on my 3rd mat. My other 2, not so much. This one should load perfectly. I'm going to go ahead and say start. And what it's going to do is scan the images. Now, I did take a couple seashells and show you as an example. So here's another bookmark I created. So what I want to do with these scanned images is create a little outline distance around them. So that's what this is, and so you know what's going on. That's what's happening. I don't need to cut out all of these, but I'm going to go ahead and say OK and see if it selected all, and it did. That is great. It selected all 9 seashells. Okay, but we don't need all of those. I just need 3 for our project. So I'm just going to go ahead and get 3. So I'm zooming in and selecting just that area. Okay, I'll get the others later, but I didn't waste time stamping them because I will be using them. And then I'm going to go in here and I'm going to click on this button here. Oops, sorry, we don't need that. Just say okay, sorry. We don't need any of these other buttons. We just need this button here. We need an outline distance of 0.04. The other button, by the way, was contrast, and I never use that, or very rarely. Okay, we need 0.04 outline distance. Once again, after I say okay, it's this little button there. So say okay again. And what's really nice is I'm just going to say cut, and I don't need to select a blade depth like I would on my other machines, because really it knows. It's an Autoblade technology. So what it's doing right now is it's sensing how deep does it need to go. It's doing a little test. It's going down, determining how deep it needs to cut, and then it's comparing that to right next to the area of the Whisper White cardstock, and it's cutting. So it says it takes a minute, but that's the smallest increment. It shouldn't even take a minute. In fact, this machine's pretty fast. All right, so I'm gonna check before I unload the mat. I just check, and sure enough, they're good. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and peel this off. So now I'm gonna say okay. I'm done with my Brother ScanNCut, and I'm gonna just unload my mat. Unload. And now I'm gonna just close this because I don't have a lot of room on my table. There were the little seashells I was going to show you. Here we go. Let's see how it did compared to these. Now, by the way, I did cut these out using my CM350. I cut those 3 out. And right now I'm using the SDX125 because now I haven't used it in a while, and everyone's like, why, do you still have it? Are you still using it? Yes, I'm still using it. I'm still using both my machines. Why would I not still be using it? Well, there are reasons. Some things it does better. I think my other machine does cutting out stamped images a little better. See how I'm just gonna have to bring this up closer. My other machine just has a better, even after aligning this like 10 to 20 times already, this one just has a more even, my other machine has a more even distance around. But still, these are really good. And you know what? It sure beats fuzzy cutting, these stamped images. Okay, so I still think these are good. I could align it 20 more times. I don't know if I'm gonna get any better results, but my machine's working way better than it did when I first got it. All right, so there we are. So we have our seashells. Now we can make some room for what's called the Simply Scored. This is a product you can get from my store, Stampin' Up store. I'm a Stampin' Up demonstrator. Okay, this is a really cool tool. Okay, so we're going to make boxes with it. So we're just going to make one box. Okay, the idea is before I do this is that the lid has to be slightly bigger than the bottom. Okay, the directions for making the bottom and the top are exactly the same, except that I start with a little bit smaller piece when I'm making the bottom so that the lid fits over the bottom. You can do this with any card you already have. So let's cut the card to make the box. Okay, we're going to start with the top because you can always go smaller, you can't go bigger after you cut. So let's open up. I'm just using a Cricut trimmer. Stampin' Up no longer sells trimmers, but we will in the future. Use whatever trimmer you have. And I'm just going to go ahead and cut the card as big as I can make it, but also on the quarter. We want it to be sort of on the 1/4 inch mark, right? So here, we're going to say 4.25, because otherwise we don't remember what we did, and et cetera, et cetera. So 4.25, and then slightly smaller than that, because I don't want to get into the territory of the Mossy Meadow over there. Okay, so that one's 4.25, and now I'm going to make this one slightly smaller than 4.25. Okay, so I'm going to make it a smidgen smaller. Right now it's a smidgen larger. It's a little bit larger. I need to make this slightly smaller than 4.25. We'll show you what that all looks like in close up in a minute. Okay, that's a smidgen. Well, that's even bigger than a smidgen, but you just want this one to be smaller. In fact, here, let's show you what that looks like. Here we go. I'm going to line these two up and see how this is the bottom. So the top is a little bit, it's a smidgen larger than the bottom, but we have to do that to this side as well. Okay, this side is already good. It doesn't even matter these are both the same length. I don't even need to measure the length. All I need to do is cut a smidgen off of this one. But we will go ahead and measure it. So in case those of you don't have a card, you don't have your paper pumpkin kit, and you just want to make the same box I'm making, we are using a box that's 5.5. So 5.5 by 4.25 are our measurements. A standard card. Okay, but this little box, this little base is a smidgen. So that's the definition of a smidgen. It's this. It's this little sliver. Okay, so we have now our box. So now our lid is slightly bigger, and I'm going to show you that now. See? It's just slightly bigger than the base. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to do this twice. I'm going to make the bottom of the box. I'm going to make the top of the box. Then we'll embellish the box. And let's see. You will get to see this. You won't miss anything, so we'll do it at different angles. So let's do the bottom of the box. And I just like to, this is going to be, so that this card is white. I mean, this particular card was white. So I want the white to be the inside of the box. So therefore, when I score, you always score with the part you're going to fold up. It'll make more sense as I do it. So I'm going to actually tilt my camera now so you get a better idea. What I like about the Simply Scored is it came with a few of these little, I guess they're called markers or tabs, and I like it because it lets me, it reminds me of what I need to do over and over again. And in this particular case, what I need to do over and over is go 3/4 of an inch. So I like to put a little marker there because I'm going to keep doing scoring at 3/4 of an inch. You can use either side of the score tool. I'm just going to use the thick side. I'm just going to flip around and do this over and over and over. Okay. I could have measured in from the right on the other side, but it's just easier. Okay, I'm going to do that one more time and I'll show you a better angle. So again, now I'm doing the lid. Same thing, 3/4 of an inch. You're like, whoa, but it's a lid. Still doesn't matter. I want 3/4 of an inch. Because the reason the lid's going to be a little bigger is because I started with the bigger paper in the first place. That's why my lid will be a little bit bigger. Okay, so now get to see that close up. Okay, I'm going to show you that this was a little marker, and I'm going to pull that away. So that was 3/4 of an inch. And use whatever scoring tool you have. See, I just took it and I scored along 3/4 of an inch. That's all I did. Okay, now I'm going to turn that over. I'm going to turn these over, and we're going to cut them now. Okay, we're going to go ahead and cut them. I need a pair of scissors. Just get yourself a good pair of scissors. That's probably not the best pair. We do make smaller paper snips, which might be better. I'm kind of using some dull scissors right now. Just use what you got, but I'm going to cut. So I like to think of this as like an H. I don't know. It's all how I remembered. When you're trying to make little triangles to cut out, I'm doing it like an H. So like the letter H, okay? And I'm going to, well, it'll make more sense when I cut all these little triangles out. So I'm cutting little triangles out right along the score lines. Okay, it doesn't really matter if your triangle goes into this little section a little or into this little section a little. It doesn't really matter. Some people might think it matters, but it really doesn't matter. Basically, when you fold the sides of the box, you don't want them to stick out the top. In fact, I'll show you what I mean. Then it might make more sense. So I'm going to cut one like this. Okay. Now, if I was to fold this and bend this down, this would stick out the top because I didn't do what's called mitering the edges. Okay. So it would stick out the top a little bit. Well, it's not doing it right now, but it usually does something like that. This is just such a small box, it really didn't matter. And I'm going to go ahead and cut the rest of that triangle. Okay, so that helps it so it goes down. Okay, and so I think that's good enough, right? You just need to all you need to do is cut out 4 little triangles and then score. But others, if you're making a big box, you also would want to miter these edges. You'd want to go like this. In fact, it doesn't hurt if we do it. It doesn't hurt. You could cut little triangles out of each little side. It never hurts to do this. It just makes them fold in really nicely around the edges. But I say some things are overkill. If you see that your box is not, the edges of your box are not sticking out, then you don't even need to do that. Okay, so then you're going to just fold your, and you can use a bone folder. In fact, what I like to use is my little ScanNCut spatula because it's always right there. My little ScanNCut spatula is so handy. I use it as my bone folder a lot. And I just sort of burnish all the edges. Don't worry if you didn't get to see that. We're going to do it one more time. Okay, so this box is 1/4 of an inch around all sides. If you want to make a taller box, because we're making this box right now. We're just making the box I already made earlier. If you want to make a taller box, do the same thing I'm showing you. In fact, I can score. I just want to show you that you could actually score first and then cut the little triangles out. I mean, it doesn't really matter. I do it different ways. I usually make a bunch of boxes at once when I'm watching TV. All right, back to if you want to make a deep box, different size box, just a deeper box, then just score an inch around all the edges, and then your box will be taller. Okay. And you may wonder, why don't I just use the Brother ScanNCut to make boxes? I do all the time. There's so many box templates in there. I do all the time. But you know what? When I have a card I'm trying to make into a box, it'd be hard to just lay the card out, get it to a line where I want, and to cut where I want. So in this case, I'm using every little bit of this card, right? We use the entire card to make this box. So it's just another way to use your crafting resources. Okay, so I hope you got a good view of what I did there. I changed my angle up a little bit. I think I already did that edge. Oh, I did. See, sometimes you do things without even really thinking about them. Okay, so now if I were to try to glue this and it started sticking out, then I would know that I need to do what's called, like, you know, mitering the edges some more. Okay, now at this point, you could use, let me clean up first because I don't want these to stick in my box. These are little. You could use rolling adhesive, like tear and tape, which is good for boxes that we do sell. But I tend to like use tacky glue because I like how forgiving it is. It doesn't really, it sticks really well. Okay, but it also lets you move the box around a little bit. So you just need a little dab of that in it. And what I have is I have clothespins when I'm making a lot of boxes. I put a clothespin here, let that dry. But see, it's already dry because it's so tacky. So that's what I like about tacky glue, is that it's very tacky. And I usually do a couple sides at once. And then I go like this. And then I fold this down. Sorry for the bright light. Okay, and then I just kind of hold that down. It only takes a couple seconds to set. Okay, so do this one too. So my Paper Pumpkin subscribers, of whom I'm always dedicating my alternate project videos to, they never know what they're going to get in the mail. I never know what I'm going to get in the mail. Stampin' Up! Always gives us a hint though. And the hint they gave us for the August kit is it's going to have a bunch of fall bags. And starting August 1st, only Paper Pumpkin subscribers are allowed to order the card kit to go with the bags. So you can order for an extra $10. You can order like a kit to make all kinds of cards to go with your fall bags. And I personally like the fall bags, but of course I'm going to get the card kit additionally because I get everything that goes with Paper Pumpkin. I've already have refills for this particular kit there. Okay, so my bottom is done. So if you'd like to subscribe to Paper Pumpkin, and if you'd like to do it soon, even the better, because you could win a prize. If you're the first person after me posting this video onto YouTube, and every day I do it, it's random. I don't tell you when I'm going to be posting to YouTube. But if you're the first person to subscribe to Paper Pumpkin, to be my Stampin' Up! Customer, or to join my team, then you can win a prize. So I'd like to congratulate Susan M. for winning yesterday's prize. My friend Emma and I were creating videos. It was really fun. We were creating several part series on how to create a cuckoo clock card. And randomly, just like I'm doing now, somewhere in that video, I explained that you can win a prize. And the special occasion is this last week, my channel hit over 10,000 subscribers. So I'm very, very grateful of the growth of my channel, and I'm so happy, and that's why I'm giving out prizes all week. Okay, so that's why. And I'm giving them out to new Paper Pumpkin subscribers, okay, new customers, new team members. Okay, and here's my, and that means you have to be in America, because I'm sorry I can't afford the shipping internationally. I would love to send a Paper Pumpkin kit internationally, but I would just go broke. So there you go. So that's my website. On there you'll find a host code if you want to purchase something. And now, no, I'm not telling you what the prize is yet, but it's a good one. Let's see. And now we have the lid. So let's put my tacky glue lid back on. My lid for my tacky glue is just It's usually just a little plug or a dimensional, a Stampin' dimensional. That's okay. No lid. We're just going to lay the glue over there and hope it doesn't spill over everything. So now we want to make this. We want to make this box lid. But first, just to prove it to you, this little lid, I mean not little lid, this lid fits over the top of the box that we just made. Super cool. See that? I'm just pushing it down. It even fits on tight. So the bigger your smidgen, the bigger the little smidgen you cut off, once again a smidgen, the bigger the sliver you make that you cut off at the bottom, then the looser the lid will be. So don't make it too, like, don't cut off too much of this because you want them to fit on sort of nicely like this. Okay, so now this paper pumpkin kit was so cool because it came with really neat little embellishments. And I'm going to take everything out that we're going to need for this project so you can sort of follow. We need these little sequins. We need the little stamps we just cut out. Okay, we need those. Bring those over here. We're going to use the 3 stamps. We're going to use this. This is the ship's wheel. Okay, we need a ship's wheel. And then what was really nice about this, and then we need our dimensionals. So we're going to pop up things with dimensionals. We need this for our sentiment. We need, these came with the kit, by the way, these little silver foils. You can't order this kit anymore because when you order a paper pumpkin kit, you don't know what you're getting. So if you didn't order by July 10th, you didn't get this kit. So really, a lot of you watching already have this kit and you're already my subscribers, or you're already somebody's subscribers because you want to find out alternate things you can do with this kit. You're going to get the surprise kit. So every time if you subscribe by August 10th, you're going to get the new kit in the mail, not the kit I'm using now. Okay, what's really nice about this kit is it has these round, you can't see them yet till I take it off, round foam dimensionals. Okay, round foam dimensionals. So you can use the inside for something else, which I saved mine from last time. Always save all your little parts. Punch out the little ship's wheel. And you're going to put, it's double-sided, we're going to put one side on there. We'll peel the other side off in a minute. So we have that. That's one of our embellishments. And that's going to go on there. We need, You've Been on My Mind, and we could probably do that in Night of Navy. I think it would be good. So taking my Night of Navy. And there's my stamp. We're going to mount it onto the block D because everything fits on block D. I'm going to lay down my foam pad. I don't know. Let's see if it'll work over the Stampin' square. I don't want to move everything again. Tap. I'm going to do, what I'm doing is tap, tap, tap. I'm just tapping. In fact, always check that you get full even coverage. And I did. And then I'm going to go ahead and lay this down and stamp the sentiment. You've been on my mind. At a very strange angle, but I think it'll work. And it did come out fine. So even though I'm on a Stampin' score, which is not even, on a table that's not even, it sure did work. It stamped fine because I used this little foam pad. And where I got this foam pad out of there was a set of stamping blocks that I have, and that's where I got that from. So here we go. We're going to put that, so that pops right out. That's easy. Put that with a couple dimensionals. In fact, this is one of those good times you could use your circle if you wanted to. Here, we could just do that. If you already have, use up all your materials. Put that circle back there and you have a dimensional for the top of your box. Okay, I'm just going to follow along with my other example. I usually don't make the same things twice. But this time, request from my viewer, Linda371, this is for you. I'm making this box because you asked me to, so I want to make it just the same as I made before. So here we go. Now we have the little ship's wheel, and I'm going to peel that off. And now we have that. I put that right over the top. So you don't want it to block the On My Mind, but also you maybe don't want these little things sticking out too far from the bottom because they might get nipped off when you, here, let's not block the words. Something like that. That looks pretty cool. So we got lots of dimension going on, and let's add little dimensionals to the seashells. So we just used the little dimensionals that came in the paper pumpkin kit. We'll put a couple on the Mossy Meadow seashell. And by the way, I cut out like 100 seashells my first kit. I had lots and lots of projects. Stick a seashell going that way. Here's another one of my projects. See? Hello, friend. You can just do so many things with these seashells. There's little Tic Tacs in there. And a couple more dimensionals. Putting them on the Balmy Blue. I think that one already has Yep, it came off. Put that seashell going upside down. And we'll put one of these seashells going up like that for the Night of Navy. And I'll show you how to measure your twine. Okay, so here's how to, it looks pretty awesome. Now if you're gonna take, so your twine, I have another roll of twine from my extra kit, but let's just, so if I was gonna measure twine, I just do it like the old gift wrapping days. We're gonna, by the way, we're gonna put sequins on this too. But my old gift wrapping days, I kind of learned this before I even did Stampin' Up. I just sort of take the package that you're wrapping and I go over the top and then I flip it around and I cross over the bottom. Okay, cross over the bottom. And then you come around, and then you flip it over. And then as long as you have enough to make a bow, which I do, I have, see, about yay much. Let me just hold that. In fact, I don't have much more in this roll, so we're gonna make, I'm just gonna cut off a piece like yay big on the one side. Okay. And we're gonna tie, then we could tie our little bow. Okay, so that's all you need to do for the twine. I'm gonna go ahead and finish making it just so it looks cute. And we'll put a few sequins on it. Of course, I should have put my candy in there first, because now I have to untie it to put my candy in there. All right, so the prize yesterday when Susan M won that Wink of Stella and the Stampin' Up pen is she also got the project I was working on. She got the Cuckoo interactive clock that I was working on. So in addition to whoever gets the prize from today, you will get these filled with something. At least one of these boxes, depending on how much I can fit in your little package, you're going to get projects I worked on in this video. But not only that, something else. But let's add the sequins. And there is what's called a take your pick tool. And it helps you pick up sequins. Of course, I don't have that right now in this video because I was trying to just use things from this kit only. I didn't want to use like a lot. I just used a little bit of extra ink. You could have used whatever color inks you have. Whenever I put little sequins on projects, I tend to do it in threes. I like the bling, but I like having it in groups of three. So there's the little sequins. Okay, that's how to create a box out of a card using only the supplies from your paper pumpkin kit. Hope you enjoyed that project. Now, your prize is something pretty darn awesome. If you are one of my new customers and you've never received an annual catalog, you're going to get one of those with this prize because I will go ahead and stuff a flat rate envelope for you with a new catalog survival kit like all of my customers got. You are going to get an entire kit like the one I just used. You're getting the entire thing, brand new, because this is a refill. This is the refill pack. You're going to be able to make 9 cards. Okay, and you're going to be able to make all of the things I just showed, or I just showed you the box and alternate projects, and you're going to get a full unopened kit with 9 cards. Not only that, I'm excited to share that you're getting this full kit. You're going to get a pretty peacock Stampin' Spot. You're going to get a full set of brand new stamps, like so. And not only that, every time a new Paper Pumpkin subscriber subscribes, they get a welcome gift by Stampin' Up, and you're going to get one but from me, and that is a acrylic stamping block, Paper Pumpkin Basics. Okay, in addition, you're going to get the catalog survival kit, and then you're going to be on my mailing list. Every new customer, by the way, is on my mailing list to get a holiday catalog, which comes out in August. And I mean, the holiday catalog starts in September, but you're going to get a holiday catalog mailed to you in August if you're one of my customers. Okay, order by the end of June for any of those specials. Join my team if you like. Shop at my store. I have the website there. And thank you for watching, and please feel free to comment on this little box project and give it a try. Let me know what you think of it. Thank you for watching. This is the Papered Chef.